Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Samp and Chance. Here we are Tuesday afternoon. That means wrestling talk. Joined with me is the man with the master plan, Mr. Chance. Michael's Chance. How you doing, buddy?
Doing pretty well. How about yourself?
Can't complain. Got the Hollywood Hogan t-shirt on, rocking that, looking good.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. How was your weekend?
It was pretty decent. Watched a little bit of boxing, took the kid to hockey, and yeah, what about yours?
Yeah, no, same. Just go, go, go as we or I guess the holiday season's now kind of starting and whatnot. So more and more of these kind of events are kind of popping up all over the place. So just trying to figure out how to get this in and all that in and all
Yeah,
that stuff and whatnot. So a new challenge, a new challenge. We're getting close to a year here, man.
yeah, we are this February, right?
Yeah, February 14th is when we launch. So looking forward to doing something for that. But let's get into it, man. Headlines of the week. I mean, I think we both kind of feel that Raw was kind of lackluster and it was there, but it wasn't there. But I'll pick on two things that I want to talk about. The evolution of Alexa Bliss. I kind of like where this is all kind of going with her. Bray Wyatt is kind of peeking his head in there. I hope they do it better this time than they did the last time. They lost a lot of opportunity there, but I can
Yeah,
see what direction this is going with. This is twice now where she's, well, Nikki Ash first, and now Bianca Belair last night put them in the Sister Abigail, then realized what she was doing and let go of the hold. But I mean, it's kind of cool. I like it. I like it. I'm enjoying it. The other one I wanted to touch on, which is kind of weird, was Oscar last night. She didn't have the green paint on or nothing. She kind of looked disheveled. You almost kind of see a reemergence of a character out of
yeah.
her. Last night she blew the blue mist. I don't know what that symbolizes, if anything, but seeing Oscar without the face paint and all that and whatnot, so kind of interesting. Kind of
Guess
interesting.
she's changing up her character, up her look, which is always nice to do. Have a fresh take on it,
Yeah,
I
I know.
guess.
I mean, I don't know what you can do, what they're gonna do, what the plan is, but I guess the one thing I want to talk about first and foremost is your good friend, Mr. Vincent McMahon, saying he wants to come back, and
Love it.
I
Seeing that,
hate
I don't,
it.
I don't know if it's just true or just a rumor. You never know, right?
I think it's the worst possible thing that
He's
they
the
can
owner
do.
still, right? He can do what he
Doesn't
wants.
matter.
That's the thing.
Doesn't matter, man. If he always talks about, what's right for business and whatnot. I believe, like, hey, I take nothing away from Vince McMahon, right? I mean,
No, he's the
we
greatest wrestling promoter of all time. It's not even close.
absolutely, I know, I
Genius.
genius, absolutely, but I think his genius has surpassed him now. I don't think
I don't think so.
I
He's only
do.
been gone a few months. Look at this is what I've always been saying on the podcast. Look at it this way, right? You got Triple H is a good guy, I get that. But you have somebody that married your daughter and you give him the keys to your mansion that you built with your bare hands. That's got to irk you a little bit. It's got to irk you a little bit that you, in his position, he's still in good set of mind. He's still built. He's still smart. He's still with it. He's probably thinking, hey, wait a minute. He got some bad advice. He should have never stepped away. He should have stayed there, fought it head on, got the lawyers to do it. He should never. I think he panicked and walked away. People around him gave him bad advice. I don't know who that was. Nobody knows. But hey, he owns 80% of the company. If he wants to come back, it's his company. And if it goes
No,
bad for him, it's his chance. But I don't even
I
know if it's true, dude. It could just be any rumors on the internet, right?
no, no, no. I understand that precisely. I
Until I
completely
hear it
agree.
from him, I don't know. I take it with a
No,
grain of salt.
no, for sure. Take it with a grain of salt. But I also feel that if there is legs to this story, I think it's really, really bad for wrestling overall for him to come back. Hear me out. Hear me out. I just think wrestling has passed him now, like in terms of who he is and what he brings to the table and his technique and skill, considering the people that are now in the industry, the new workers and new talent and whatnot. It's very different. That kind of mentality and stuff was great up until maybe 10, 15 years ago. And
Yeah, but he
morale
was
was
just running the show only a few months ago. He was doing fine, right?
not
Selling out
really. No,
WrestleManias.
no, no.
So
I mean, yeah, he was selling stuff out, but I mean the morale was
that's all that
horrible.
mattered. Well,
But
that's of course because people want a boss. Even at my work, you'd rather have a boss that you can dictate what you're going to do instead of a boss telling you what to do. Well, Vince tells you what's happening. Triple H, you can manipulate him a little more, right? So of course they're going to prefer a guy like a Triple H. They
yeah,
don't
but
want Vince is an authority figure. Triple H is not an authority figure, right? He's just a
no,
cool,
no, but
nice guy.
I just don't think Vince has it anymore. Honestly, I don't. I don't
Well, he
mean that
just
in a
sold over
bad way.
100,000 tickets at WrestleMania, so the people say he does, or they wouldn't
I
show up, right?
no, it has nothing to do with that though. I mean, I just think overall, I'm saying, and nothing to do with WrestleMania. WrestleMania is always going to sell out, regardless of
But
who's in
that's but
power.
who built that though, right? That's the
Yeah, but
thing.
he built it. I get all that, but I just don't think that
I'll
it's
tell you one thing.
good
I wouldn't
for
want to
the
build this
business.
beautiful company myself and hand over my business to my daughter's husband. I don't care how good of a guy he was.
I
There's
don't
something
even think,
about that. You know what I mean?
I don't think he handed it over like you say. It was a
Well, I mean, he's in charge of
decision.
creative. His daughter's the
Yeah,
acting CEO, but Vince is
yeah.
still really the real owner. He owns all the
No,
shares, right?
if Vince wants to come back, fine. But I don't think he should be involved in creative. I don't think he should be involved in anything like that. If he wants to come back, do other things, but I don't think he has a place anymore on that side of the business, in my opinion.
Fair
That's
enough. I
just the way
totally
I see
disagree.
it.
I hope he comes back. I hope he takes over creative. I hope he
I
gets
hope he
right back in
doesn't.
the
I
spot.
hope he doesn't. I
There's
think
very
it's
few
horrible.
guys like Vince McMahon.
It's kind of like saying, you know, like you talk about Bob Cole and Vince Scully. Like, yeah, they were great in their time, but they're not good anymore. They would
But
kill
they
in
are
the
though. They still have the voice though,
no,
right?
they don't have the mentality for it anymore.
I say it this way: if people don't like that Vince is coming back, go to AEW. See how that works out for you guys. Vince is the owner; he owns it
And
all. He
that's why
built it.
everybody left because they can't.
Yeah, but
You
look at
know,
AEW though; it's no good. Like the ratings are terrible. They got 300,000 people watching Rampage. Just nobody's watching it.
no, I get
So
that, but
I
at
look
the
at
end
it
of the
this way: like
day,
at my work, we got 10 managers. There's certain managers that certain people want to work for. Why? They can control them. They can manipulate them. The ones that actually do the best work are the ones that are more authoritative. You don't want to work for them. It's just kind of like that.
okay, but
So
when
I don't even know if the rumors are true. If
no,
it is, I
I
love it. I
know.
hope it's true. We'll see.
I hope it's not because I don't think he has that creative edge anymore in
Well,
terms of.
he was just there up until a few months ago. So I mean,
And again, everyone was upset. No one was happy. Morale was low. There was
that's
nothing
what people
going
say. A
on.
couple, of course, because
Right.
you can
But
get a
at the
new
end of the
boss, you got like
day,
Triple H, and you get a little more creative control because he's Triple H is one of the boys, so he's a little more easygoing. He's a little more of a cool guy. You know what I mean? Vince is
you
more of the
know,
authority guy.
but the shows have been better since he's been gone.
I don't think so.
I do. A lot of people do. You're one of
But look
you
at it
know.
this way, dude. If you go back to 15 years ago, look at the ratings. We've lost like millions and millions of wrestling fans, right, over the years. And even right now, we lose. If you look at Monday Night Raw and Monday Night Football, they get 20 million, we get 1 million. So what's happened in wrestling in this time to make people want to watch football over wrestling? I think personally that I've always said it, even with Vince there, the wrestlers aren't cool nowadays. They don't relate to the teenagers. And teenagers, you don't see anybody in the high schools wearing wrestling shirts anymore, like when we were in school. I don't know why that is. Maybe it's
It's a
because of
different
UFC.
generation. I think it's just
No,
a
I know, but I'm
different
saying it's not cool
generation. Just
anymore. So
no,
why isn't it cool?
but see, wrestling only goes through cool phases every so often. It was cool in the 90s because
But
of
it
the
hasn't been cool
attitude era.
since. We've been almost 20 years.
So then what's Vince done in 20 years to make it
That's what
cool
I'm saying.
again?
That's what I'm saying. It's not just Vince. It's everything. It's the wrestlers. It's the I don't know if it's UFC too. If kids in school say, "Oh, this is fake," I want to watch UFC. You know,
Well,
that's part of it
I
too.
think it has to do with attention spans. I think it has to do with, like you said, the internet and TikTok and
Yeah,
all
it's a
these social
combination of many
media,
things.
right? I mean, it's all there. I mean, there's so many different things that are going on. But anyways, man, you
But
and
I don't know
I
if the rumors are
will.
true. It could just be some idiot making it up, right?
Well, I tell you what, man. Let's agree to disagree. I'm on
Oh
one
yeah.
side of this fence, you're that, but that's what we do. Matt Riddle. So he was written off for 6 weeks, not due to injury, but because he failed his second drug test.
What the heck is that guy doing, man?
Well, let's look back at Matt Riddle. He got suspended twice in the UFC for smoking marijuana,
Mm-hmm.
which is kind of redundant now considering.
Well, because it's legal, yeah.
And then he got suspended once in the WWE. I don't know what it was for. I think it was for marijuana or something like that. But that was when Vince was
I think
there.
that's for painkillers or
Or
roids.
painkillers, maybe. But this time around, he got suspended for cocaine and ecstasy.
Oh, that's what it was. I was wondering what he got suspended for. Okay.
Yeah, MDMA and cocaine use. So they basically told him either we're gonna fuck up, rip up your contract and you're gone. This is from Steph and Triple H.
Yep.
Or you go to rehab for 30 days.
Take the
So
rehab, Riddle.
well, he's gone to rehab now. So he
He's in
is
rehab right now?
yeah. So that's why they've written him off TV for six weeks, right? So he can do his
Gotcha.
rehab and come back. That's why the Seth match at SummerSlam was postponed to Clash at the Castle. Because
I didn't know that.
that's when he had failed the first drug test. Yeah, it's all kind of come out now, right? So when we were talking about, oh yeah, I wonder why they're moving this to this to this. Well, that's the reason why they moved that match from SummerSlam to Clash. It's because of his recreational drug use, man. And apparently he's dating a porn star now too, so I can understand why he wants the ecstasy.
That's a bad look for the company.
Well, I mean, Randy Orton, you look at them all, man. Ryback, he's not the first. He's probably not going to be
No,
the
no,
last.
no. I don't mean the
Right?
drugs. More
So,
dating the porn star. Did Randy Orton date a porn star too?
well, Shawn Michaels did play girl. A lot of those girls
Yeah,
did
yeah, it wasn't a good
Playboy,
look.
and right. So, I mean, at the end of the day, no, but those were authorized by the WWE. Sable was authorized, given the
Yeah,
authorization to go ahead and do Playboy.
but they
Um,
try to say Playboy's a little more classy than like the hustler porno stuff, right? That's all they say.
eh,
But I
yeah.
hopefully Riddle's not. Hopefully this is not a rabbit hole. He doesn't want to end up like Jeff Hardy and all these and Eddie Guerrero and all these other guys, painkillers and drugs. He's got to be really careful here.
Well, it's kind of interesting. Well, it's recreational drugs in this case, right? So it's not really necessarily painkillers.
That's
I
what he
mean,
says. He maybe is doing coke every night. We don't know, right?
well, I don't know. I mean, that's what he tested for. So he's in rehab. I don't know if he was doing it every night. Who God knows, right? I
We
mean,
don't
these
know.
things stay in your system. He could have done it one night, but then again, the way he is, maybe he does it all the time. Who knows,
We
right?
don't know.
Nobody
Yeah.
knows. So
Well,
that's
hope he
Matt.
takes his chance to get himself right mentally and get off that hard drugs because one bad batch of MDA or one bad sniff of coke, you can have a heart attack and die. You don't know what's in that stuff.
Well, that's why I don't touch that noise, man. I have no
Yeah,
time
you
for
don't
it.
know. You don't
If
know
it's
what
not,
idiots cut it with what or
if it didn't come from the ground, I'm not interested.
no.
That's the
Fair
way I
enough.
look at it, man. I mean, I think the only dangerous drug out there that Mother Nature provided us is opium,
Yeah,
right?
that one's dangerous.
That one's dangerous. I think she put that one out there just to fuck with everyone. Like, yeah, yeah, marijuana is fine. Mushrooms are okay. And let me put this one out here for you, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, yeah. So what else is going on here in the world of professional wrestling?
What
Anything
about
you
what
want to?
Road Dogg said about Bret Hart? Did you hear about that?
No, tell me, enlighten me.
He basically, not word for word, but basically said he was better than Bret Hart because he could entertain better talker, better, and Bret Hart was overrated. He said that. I think he said that last week or the week before.
Okay, he must have said that along the same time when he was talking shit about The Rock too. Did you hear about
Maybe. I
that?
mean, yes. I mean, obviously Bret's a better wrestler. Obviously, Road Dogg could entertain better. Bret wasn't the best on the mic, but obviously, I mean,
Yeah, but
he's
did
just
you
having
hear?
some fun. I guess he's just trying to keep his name in the public. He'll
Did
stir a little
you
controversy. I guess. I don't know.
did you hear what he said about The Rock?
No, what did he say?
So he basically said the exact, well, not so much like that. He said he was jealous of The Rock. He hated The Rock because he was bigger, he was better on the mic, and blah blah blah. And that when they worked together, he would like go out of his way to kind of insult him and work stiff and what have you. So and he's apologized to him ever since. But he said at the time, there was a sense of jealousy. He wasn't afraid to admit it. I like Road Dogg, man. He
Yeah,
backs
I
his
don't
shit
mind the
up,
guy. Yeah,
right?
yeah, he's
Like
entertaining. He's fun. Not a
you
very
know,
good wrestler, but entertaining as heck.
No, he's good. I mean, if the one thing he had was the stick, man, he was great on the stick.
Oh
I'll,
yeah,
I'll, I'll give him that any day. Um, Bobby Lashley got fired last night on Raw.
yeah. I seen that. Was he? Is he hurt? Taking a break or what?
I don't know what they're doing with him because I mean, they had the number one contender match last night with him and Seth Rollins. Rollins won.
Yeah.
Referee kind of had a gimped leg. He moved out of the way and hurt his ankle.
I was gonna say Bobby looked uninspired out there. If you look at the spear that he didn't run very fast. He didn't hit him very hard, so maybe he's hurt.
You know what? It could be because, like I was telling you last week, that confrontation, the verbal confrontation the two had in the ring before they got going
Yeah,
was amazing. But then the physical altercation just lacked something. You know what I mean?
it did.
And if that's the case, then yeah, maybe something is wrong with him. Maybe
Something's up because
he
he
is
wasn't
hurt.
running fast. He didn't hit the spear very hard. Like he usually just charges full blast. So something. He's definitely something's bugging him.
Yeah, no, I mean, but there's a storyline there with him and Anna Pierce, right? Because the week before he knocked out Petey Williams. This
Yeah,
week he beat up a referee by accident, right? Like he elbowed the referee by accident. And then he pushed Adam Pierce as he was leaving. And that's when Pierce fired him so
I think
obviously,
Pierce. Thanks for bringing that up. I was going to bring this up. I think Pierce is so bad at that job. I don't enjoy him at all. He's got no personality. He's boring. I know that's what he's going for, but they got to be somebody else that could be better than that.
well, I don't know, man. I enjoyed Pierce when he was a wrestler. So, did you ever watch him
I'm just
wrestle?
talking about what he's doing right now. It's just so boring and dull. Like I don't know. I don't get
Yeah.
why he's out there.
Who would you put out there then?
I would either get rid of it or somebody with a little bit of charisma, a little bit of flair, a little
Who?
bit. He doesn't. I don't know. I don't know who's backstage. It'd have to be somebody that's not wrestling, right? I don't know who it would be. Anybody but him, dude. Like he's just. I don't think he's very good at what he's doing.
Yeah.
Or
Well,
get rid of it completely, maybe. I don't know, but I wouldn't have him out there.
yeah. Well, I mean, I think that That's a hard one to fill because I mean, if you look at through all times and whatnot, they've always had a general manager or they've
I don't know
always
why they
had.
don't let Triple H do it and somebody have a beef with him. I know he can't really wrestle because of his heart condition. Somebody's got to come out there and say, listen up, you spoon fed, spoiled guy that married Steph. You using power. Somebody's got to work that angle, and I think they will. CM Punk would be the guy that could do that. Say, look, I said you're a doofus, take it over. Like really play on that angle of him being a spoiled rich kid who got everything handed to him, right? Somebody needs
Well,
to do that. It will happen.
if Punk comes back, he'd probably be the best one to do it, and that probably be the only reason why they bring him back is because he's the guy
They
that
got
could do
legit
that kind
heat.
of food.
Yeah.
They got legit heat, and it could be like a shoot work. Yeah, you know what, Chance? I'll give you that one, man. That's a good idea. I like that. I like that a
Yeah,
lot.
because
I
you know
think
what? Like they've always had that. And then Kevin Nash had a little bit of beef with CM Punk. He said you look like a short order cook at the Waffle House. So there's a little bit of tension with the Click and CM Punk a little
yeah,
bit, right?
yeah,
They'll
yeah,
never say
yeah,
it like that, but you could
yeah,
feel it.
yeah. So I just read something here where Ric Flair was talking about Vince McMahon, and McMahon apparently did not like his promos. Did you read anything about that? Did you hear
No,
about
he
that?
didn't like players' promos.
No, here's what Pritchard said about Mr. McMahon. So this was on something to wrestle with.
That's a good
Yeah,
podcast.
yeah, yeah. I don't think he was a big fan of Rick's promos by any stretch of the imagination. But also in this era of Rick being the owner or general manager or whatever the hell it was at that time, uh, it was trying to present Rick in a different way, representing a different side of him, a business side of him, not the character that he's been all those years and a performer. So maybe he wasn't a fan of Rick trying to be a manager or whatnot, but apparently during that time, McMahon was not a fan.
No, that could be. He's talking like mid 2000s, early 2000s here. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So we
I
got
like the
that.
story that Ric Flair says McMahon called him up, said, you're retiring. He's like, what? It's like, yeah, you have one last match. You're retiring. I'm retiring you. You're almost 60. That was hilarious.
No
I love
doubt,
that.
no doubt. I want to talk about Lacey Evans really quick here. So she's coming out with this whole US military
Yeah.
gimmick now. Like, how many gimmick changes is this woman gonna have before something clicks?
Don't know if it's ever going to click. If you keep doing so many changes, something ever going to click?
Well, it's kind of weird because she came out with this really sob story. Like when she came back now recently, right? Like let's forget everything else that she was before.
Yeah.
And when she came back with this whole sob story of, being, hey, I'm not taking anything away or diminishing anything. Like it was a real shoot. Her life has been fucking hard, man. Like
Oh
she's
yeah.
had a very difficult life. And to see her where she is today and overcome all of that and persevere, is amazing. But I'll
Yeah.
say this honestly, the woman is damaged. You don't go through all that shit and not come out damaged.
So why didn't she play more of that kind of character? It's like a little more natural, close to home for her.
Okay, so this is what they started to do with her. She came out and she started cutting these promos. I used to live in my car. My father was an
Yeah.
alcoholic, blah, blah, blah. She's telling the story. People are getting behind it, but then she becomes a heel.
I know.
And it's completely dropped. Now she's this US military, Marines kind of build off of that. Rumor has it that Sergeant Slaughter might be her manager.
That would give her a little bit of
Right?
maybe that's a good idea.
So let's see how that plays out. This is the only thing that I will say that kind of bothers me. They did this with Emma too.
Yeah.
Before she got released, they spent so much time working on all these different promos, Emelition and whatnot, like this kind of glamorous kind of character, and then it was gone. Like it ran for 3 weeks, and then she just came out as normal, Emma again, and that was that.
That goes back to what you were saying. We have such a short attention span now. If something doesn't click right away, they just jump the gun and panic. They are on the next character instead of giving a little bit of time to develop. But the people nowadays don't want to wait. They want it now, right?
Well, and I was having this conversation, and I'm going to tell you about this conversation I had a little bit later here. But the guy I was talking to, we were talking about storytelling and how storytelling in wrestling is starting to become a lost art form. Everything is
It
just,
is.
move based and everyone just wants to get their spots in and look good that way. But if you look and agree to disagree with me, but if you look at the Mount Rushmore, and I think it has to be more than 4 fucking heads, man, because there's just too many people to put
Okay,
on
well,
there.
give me 6.
Well, I'll give you the 6 that I think and why I think. Hogan, Rock, Austin,
Agreed.
Cena.
Yeah.
Those are the 4, and then I'll throw I'll throw Flair in there for technical.
5.
And I'll throw. See, this is where I'm torn because I don't know. and
It's got to be
Shawn.
Undertaker or Shawn Michaels, maybe.
Then you have to throw 8 up there, man, because I'd have to put Brett, Shawn.
I wouldn't put Brett up there.
Okay, you wouldn't put Brett up there. I put Brett up there just because of the technical side. I put him in the same class as Ric Flair in technical side.
Technically, yes.
Right?
Technically, I agree with
Right?
that part.
Like, I mean, if we want to break up the Rushmores, then you would have the technical Rushmore and this and that. But if you look at the 4, I'd say the top 5 guys ever, in my opinion: Hogan, Rock, Austin, Shawn, and Taker. Those are my guys. Why?
The only
I
one
say
guy you
that-
can make an argument for, maybe, I don't agree, but maybe you could say take out Shawn, put in Cena, take out Taker, put in Cena, maybe. But I agree with what you just said for the most
Yeah,
part.
no, 100%. Like Rushmore, I would have to build this on the Himalayas or the Andes or something because I'd need more mountain to kind of carve
Yeah.
this out of. But if you look at the 4 guys I mentioned right off the bat, they couldn't wrestle. Oh, Austin was a mechanic.
Yeah.
Okay. But the other 3, Hogan, Rock, and Cena, they weren't the greatest wrestlers.
No.
You look at their repertoire, their whole repertoire consisted of maybe 5, maybe 7 tops
Moves. Yeah.
moves. It was the storytelling that
The look.
made them, the look, the storytelling that made them bigger than life. You ask
Absolutely.
anybody about who, if you ask, hey, do you like wrestling? No, not really. But when you think of wrestling, what wrestlers come to mind? Those are the guys that always come to everybody's mind.
Hogan, Rock, John Cena. Yeah.
Yeah, like over Ric Flair, over Bret Hart,
Easily.
over easily. And take nothing away from Flair and those guys, right? But I mean, at the end of the day, this is what I love about wrestling, is that storytelling. Yeah, I
Yeah.
like it. I love a high spot as much as the next guy does, right? Like even on the indie level, high spots are still amazing. Like
Yep.
when I'm ringside there and I'm doing my thing or whatever the case may be, or if I'm just a spectator in the crowd, there are moments at an indie show where I'll go, "Oh wow, that was crazy.
Mhm.
That must have fucking hurt or something." But the art of storytelling is where it's at.
Totally agree with you.
And on the
100%.
local scene, I have to say that guys like Jordy Taylor, Thunder from Jalunder, stand out to me as, amazing storytellers and the expressions and everything. They don't
Scotty too.
And Scotty, absolutely, but Scotty can wrestle low. Take
You're
nothing
talking,
away.
okay, I see what you're saying.
Take nothing away from Jordy or Thunder or anyone else here locally, right? But
Yeah, I
it's
get
just,
what you mean. You're talking about character and charisma
but
and
that
storytelling.
character and charisma, right? Like Thunder from Jalunder, his eyes bulging out. I mean, he never
He's a
gets
great
hurt.
character. Great
He's
character.
right. He never gets hurt because he sticks to what he knows works.
I don't think anybody in the local scene right now can get the crowd as invested as Thunder can, as far as local scene.
No, local scene, absolutely. Nobody. No, 100%.
And you look at that crazy look, like a crazy old uncle.
No, he does.
He takes hard hits. And
he does. And that's what wrestling is. It's storytelling.
Absolutely.
The moves, it's like a ballet. Like wrestling, I equate wrestling to like ballet. You're in the ring, and it's, yes, the moves, obviously, right? And it's a different level, but just the movement and the way they move, the way their expressions show, even in ballet, is telling the story.
Yeah.
Right.
I totally agree with you.
And I feel that's what's missing. And I think that's why it's cool to see the guys that are still pulling it off that way. And I don't know why people shit on guys like Cena and shit on Roman Reigns and shit on Hogan. Oh, well, he's only got 5 moves of doom. That's all he fucking needs.
That's all you need. You got the crowd in the palm of your hands like this.
Right. John Cena has announced that he's going to be at the last SmackDown of the year, December 30th.
Oh, did he? That's awesome.
Yeah, he's going to be there, probably announcing his entry into the Royal Rumble.
I hope so.
Right. So if you got Cena coming back, I don't even have to guarantee it, man. I know I'll put my paycheck, this week's paycheck, on the line. But there are more Cena shirts in that crowd than any other competitor.
Yep.
One can almost argue that every other shirt sold that night will still not match what Cena sells that night alone.
Absolutely. That Royal Rumble is going to be awesome. Where is it? In Texas?
Yeah, San Antonio, Alamo Dome.
Nice. And then I think Cody Rhodes is going to be there too, so we'll see.
Well, Cody Rhodes is going to be there, and I have a suspicious feeling Rock is going to be there, number 30, and win it, and that's how we're going to set up WrestleMania.
Could you imagine a Royal Rumble with Rock, Cena, and all these guys in it again? That's going to be cool.
I think it'd be great. That'd be phenomenal. It'd be good,
Absolutely.
right? So like I just this is I think what the problem with wrestling is right now is that too many people are so move oriented and so move based. Everybody wants to get their high spots in and this and that. And I appreciate the Will Ospreys and the Kenny Omegas and some of the stuff that they do. It looks amazing. Don't get me wrong. Those,
Oh, they're great workers, but
the execution of those moves are phenomenal. But at the end of the day, who are you going to remember? That's it.
absolutely. And there's too
That's
many
it.
super kicks in wrestling now. Everybody's doing a super kick, super kick, super kick.
Super kick and
Holy
spears.
cow.
Super kick and spears.
Yep.
Right? I mean, it's basically that's the foundation for most wrestlers. I mean, you can't. How can anybody in their right mind use a super kick as a finisher anymore? It doesn't make any sense.
You can't unless you're Shawn Michaels in another match again. That's about it.
Well, that's about it, right? I mean, it's like even the sleeper hold has lost his its mystique.
Yeah. Like
It
back
just
when Jake the Snake was putting it on and Brutus Beefcake and all them.
or Piper,
Or Piper, yep.
right? And that was Piper's go-to.
Yep.
So, and again, there's the other guys right there. Let's go down the list of how many guys didn't really wrestle that well, but were just amazing characters.
Exactly. They got the charisma, the style, the look.
Like
The
take
few ones
nothing
they did it well, you know
like
what I mean?
obviously Andre was bigger than everybody and bigger than life. But again, I mean, really, what did Andre do? He did the ass thing where he pushed you in the corner with his ass,
Chop, punch, kick,
chop and kick,
body
and
slam.
body slam and stand on you,
Yeah.
right? I mean, but
And he
he's
had 80,
Andre.
80 sold out Pontiac Dome with Hogan, right? Like,
Absolutely. Between the two of them in that match, they had 4 fucking moves.
yeah.
The match itself was only 5 minutes long.
That was probably the most hype match for WrestleMania. I don't think a match has topped it since, as far as hype and ticket sales since, has there?
I think the closest thing that would come to it, if it did surpass it, would have been Rock Hogan at Skydome.
That was amazing. Oh, that was amazing.
That was phenomenal, man. I can't stress how that felt.
I'm actually glad Hogan didn't fight Austin because he had better chemistry. The Rock, it wouldn't have been the same with Austin. It was perfect how it happened.
It's kind of ironic because Rock left shortly thereafter, but I mean, they always call that the passing of the torch in a way. But I mean, if he out of all of them, honestly, I think Cena is bigger than all of them in terms of longevity and what he accomplished and how long he stayed on top. I
Yeah,
mean,
it's hard to argue.
outside of Taker maintaining the character for as long as he did and evolving it and whatnot, and what he did as the Undertaker, as the character of the Undertaker, that 1A, 1B in my opinion.
Yeah, no,
Right?
it's hard to argue.
I mean, how long was Hogan's run? I mean, he was good for about 4 to 5 years, right?
But then he had a pretty good run in WCW too, though.
But as a heel, yes, that's a different thing. But I'm just talking generally speaking here, right?
Yeah.
Between Austin and Rock, that was a hard one because how often are you going to get two guys neck and neck as the biggest guys in the industry at the same time?
It's very rare.
Right? But their shelf lives were short too. They both only lasted 4
Yeah,
to 5 years.
Austin's injury prone, right? Broken
Yeah,
neck and all that stuff.
Yeah, no, 100%. But I mean, between the two of them, they were combined. They did the amount of time that Cena did on his own.
Yeah.
So interesting times, my friend. Interesting times at all. But yeah, no, storytelling, man. I love it. I love it. And I think we need to see more of it. And
It's going to be hard though because people don't have patience anymore. They want it now. We're seeing matches now on AEW and WWE, even when Vince was there, just random matches, sometimes for no reason. And the storytelling is fading out. I guess it's because they figure people don't care about it as much. Put the guys out there and have a quick match and it's got to make it up as you go sometimes. I don't know what's going on.
I can't speak for AEW because I don't watch it as religiously as I watch the other programs. But I feel personally, go ahead and disagree with me. But I think in the last little while, the WWE has started to focus a bit more on storytelling again, as you can see with some of the storylines. Example, the Bloodline story.
Yes, it will for a while.
Right? That those payoffs are going to be huge, right? I think you can tell stories still in a way where people aren't wanting to get bored. Just finding that chemistry. Another example of, the the Alexa Bliss, that story. It's quietly being told, right?
Yeah.
We're starting to see the story of Asuka. It's quietly being told. I think with this generation and with the attention span of the youth today, that you quietly have to tell the story. I don't think the story can be forced upon you anymore.
It almost looks like they're doing a couple stories, like with the bloodline, a couple stories, and then just doing some random quick matches, kind of try to appease everybody, I guess. Speaking
I
of
guess
SmackDown, they got the highest rating of the year because the best segment was a Kurt Angle birthday party. That was great.
that was fun, man. I really enjoyed that. I've always said that when you take off your hat, you remind me of Kurt Angle.
Thank you. I take that as a compliment.
And I mean it as a compliment,
Yeah,
honestly.
yeah, I
Like
like Kurt Angle.
first time I met you, I said, "Hey, fuck, man, this guy looks like Kurt Angle a little bit." Sitting there wearing your Macho Man shirt.
Yeah,
I
he's one of the
remember.
best. Kurt Angle's great, man. He barely can move though. He walks. He looks really frail.
Well, I just saw a headline here. I didn't read the article, but he was talking about, he knew something was wrong when he's getting fucking 4 to 5 DUIs in 1 year. Really, Kurt? You should have realized that after the second one, but hey, that's just me, right? What do I know?
That birthday party thing, that was great. It was so good.
Oh, that's really good, man. And is Gable Stevenson out there as well? So maybe there is something going on with him. So
But
that's
did you
going to be
notice when
exciting.
Kurt was holding the hose for the milk truck, he could barely grab it. He could like he just looks so like he's still in good shape, but he just looks frail and weak. He can barely walk. You notice that?
Yeah, I know he's old, man. I
Bad
mean,
knees, bad neck.
he is a prime example of a man that gave everything he had to wrestling,
Hmm.
both professionally and amateur.
Yeah,
I
absolutely. He's an
mean,
amazing athlete.
not to repeat what's
And they
been
always say, Big Show says in 2003, him and Lesnar had a shoot amateur wrestling match and Kurt beat him. Lesnar won't admit that, but everybody that watched it said Angle had the upper hand.
oh, Angle will always have the upper hand, man. He's an amazing wrestler. You don't
The
go
gold
to the
medalist.
Olympics and win a gold medal like that, right? Gable Stevenson, it was kind of cool to see him out there with Kurt,
Yeah,
another gold medal winner.
he's thick. He's a big dude.
But he's gotten bigger.
Yeah.
He's gotten
Let's see what
bigger.
he's like in the
So,
ring. I haven't seen him wrestle yet, but we'll find
well,
out soon.
no one really knows what's going on with him right now. Like, I guess he's finished up with university now. He had gone back to finish off his last year. I don't know how he did. So maybe him coming out now is kind of something they're going to play with here.
Or they're going to put him in
And
NXT. He's going to come right to the big leagues.
um
It's almost now he's been on Raw and Smack. It's almost like you got to throw him out there now almost.
his brother's on NXT.
Oh, is he? Who is he? I don't know who he is.
He's with the Creed brothers. He's with that whole, I forgot what that faction was called. Diamond Mine.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen it.
Yeah. His brother's down there. I think with him, it's a case of like a Dominic Mysterio kind of a deal here, right? I mean, it's kind of like, okay, you're good enough, you have enough. Okay, maybe Dominic wasn't good enough, but
I know what you're saying.
he's good enough with enough amateur pedigree to go in there and kind of pull it off, maybe like Kurt did. I'm kind
Yeah.
of seeing it that way. And if he gets to work with the Alpha Academy and do something along those lines, I think having Gable in his corner, also an amateur, accomplished amateur wrestler as well,
Yeah.
that could, help him out and kind of see where he goes with it. But I think the best thing for Gable Stevenson, again, this is just my opinion, is just bringing him in slowly, little segments like that, and slowly kind of get him going and whatnot, and just
Yeah.
kind of
Well, I agree with that.
bring him on slowly.
He's got all the talent in the world. We'll see if he can put it together in the pro side, right?
Well, that's it, right? I don't want it to become convoluted or thrown into the fire too quick, right?
Yeah.
Right. So not everyone can be a Kurt Angle. There's
No,
only
he's
a handful of men and women that can just go in there and pick it up like nothing. So
it was he was amazing at his time. He got some of the best matches you're ever going to see Kurt put on. He's a great athlete.
No, he was phenomenal, man. I have nothing negative to say about him. I don't know about this one, man. Goldberg has signed another 2-year deal with the WWE. The guy's 58.
It's simply because they want to put him on Crown Jewel. That the Saudis, Prince loves the guy, one of his favorites. That's why.
Which is weird.
He might have a match or two, but you know what? Goldberg only has a match for a minute or two. 2-minute match. Crowd loves him. I'm okay with it.
According to sources, Goldberg, who will turn 56 this month, has signed a new 2-year deal with the WWE where he's contract to wrestle a total of 5 matches. Okay.
That's what I'm saying. So once a year at the Crown Jewel, a couple random matches. I don't mind. I think it's good.
These 5 matches will take place at WrestleMania and the Saudi Arabia Premium Live event. 3 of these matches will be against young wrestlers that he's never faced before. Also, one of these 5 matches will be a rematch against undisputed WWE Universal Champion Roman Reigns.
Though I wouldn't put him against Reigns. We don't need to see that again, but
that's what they're gonna do.
I
See,
would
here-
personally,
here's
I
my
would tell
problem.
Triple H, good for you, man. You know, he's a big star, a couple matches a year, no big deal.
No, but if he's going up against young talent, do you want him to destroy up and coming
He
talent?
won't. They're going to beat him.
Well, will they though? Like, I mean, I don't know. Unless something's changed in this guy's heart or something, he doesn't come across the kind of guy who's willing to lose because of his
Maybe
name.
they told him,
And,
hey,
and
if we're going to sign you again, you're going to lose to X, Y, and Z, and that's like it or don't come back. It is mostly, I think, 90% because the Saudi prince says we love Goldberg, we want Goldberg, and they like the big guys, and so probably that's mostly why they brought him in.
I get that, but the one thing he said, Goldberg has said himself, and I guess I'm paraphrasing the quote, but he said that he didn't want to go out losing to Roman Reigns. That's not the way
Fair
he
enough.
wanted to end his
Nah, he's got
career,
a big ego, yeah.
right? So I mean, that ego is what bothers me, is the fact that you got a guy. He's, as you and I will probably agree, the only guy that WCW ever created,
Him and Sting, yeah.
and Sting, I guess, right? But I mean, I just don't see it. And as we talk about storytelling and everything, I mean, yeah, he only had 4 moves himself.
Yeah.
Right. But he wasn't a good storyteller.
Not really, just big, strong, and fast, yeah.
Right. So he had all the other stuff except the main component, which is storytelling. The theme of today's show, kids, is storytelling. So I don't know. I'm kind of curious to see who the young talent is. Okay, go up against the Brock, go up against the Roman Reigns,
It'll
whatever
be like a
they're
Gunther or
established.
somebody like that, a big, strong guy.
I'm hearing Gunther and Brock maybe at WrestleMania.
That'd be fun. Something
That'd be a
different.
fun match. I think that would be a really fun match. You keep Cowboy Brock as a cowboy. He still stays face, but Gunther's a big, strong lad, man.
Oh, yeah. I like Gunther.
Right? I think that would be a really fun match. I love Imperium. I love what they're doing. That's a real fun faction.
It is. Yeah, I think SmackDown is better than Raw this week, myself.
I think SmackDown is better than Raw generally.
Yeah, because it's only 2 hours. They trim some of the fat, right?
I would love to see Raw go back to 2 hours.
They won't because the advertising is too much money on the line. But yeah, I agree with you.
I get it. I get what you're saying, right? But if you put Raw to 2 hours again, I get an hour back in my life. You'd get an hour back in your life. But it's just the perfect amount. The rosters are the same. Both rosters are the same. Yet SmackDown's output. But then again, you know what? I almost get the sense that they're putting more effort into SmackDown because of the network size.
And they're on Fox, yeah.
And being on prime time in regular TV.
Well, they got the champ on there, right? So that says something. Roman's on there.
So speaking of the champ, so there being stories going back and forth now on how they're going to do this WrestleMania. So what I heard was that Cody's coming back, yes. And the goal is to separate those titles somehow. They need to get one of the belts off of him.
Yeah.
So they have the belt on Raw, right? I mean, that just shows you how much they care about Raw, that they don't even have a fucking champion.
They could do a match where he has a 2 out of 3 falls match. Each falls for a belt or something. One guy wins one, Roman wins the other. One of the belts is gone. They can do something like that, right?
What I heard was for WrestleMania was to have him fight both nights. First night against Cody, and then the second night against The Rock.
That would work.
He would drop the title to Cody on night 1. But another update came up which says that idea is kind of being nixed now, because if you're going into night 2 against The Rock, which is the biggest match in a very, very fucking long time.
Oh yeah.
Right. And Rock is teasing this on Young Rock too, like we talked about last week. So the teases are coming from all over the place, right? This match is going to happen.
Yeah.
Regardless of what anyone's saying, or Rock's not available, XFL is going to be there. He's not shooting anything. I think it's all kind of tongue in cheek right now.
And it's in Hollywood. He wants one more.
And it's in Hollywood. When he was promoting Black Adam, one of the interviewers asked him, "So who's the head of the table?" And he said, "Without saying anyone's name, you're talking to him."
Nice.
So, I mean, right? And then there's scenes in Young Rock where Rock is actually sitting there, whatever, doing his thing, and there's this kid hanging off of him, and apparently that's Roman Reigns as a youngster, and saying, acknowledge me, because Rock's busy doing something and he's not playing with him.
Yeah, I,
And
I,
then
I can see this happening. It looks
and then
pretty like
there's
it will.
and then there's another shot where Rock is walking by his trophy case, and the blue Universal title is in there. It's something he's never won, right?
I haven't seen a Young Rock, but yeah, that
And,
makes sense what you're
and the
saying.
show is based 10 years in the future.
Nice.
So I mean, all roads are leading to that match. If he's going to drop this title, it's got to happen. Maybe, I don't know. There's no Money in the Bank anymore either. Fuck.
Royal Rumble,
Right? It's either Rumble or Elimination Chamber.
pretty much.
Someone has
That'll
to
be
drop.
only two
Right?
pay-per-views to go before Mania, right? So
The two biggest fears for the bookers and the producers and the team backstage is this: A, you don't want to take Lester off that main event match for Sunday by having him lose on that night, right? I
yeah,
mean, potentially he could lose 2 nights in a row, something he hasn't done in over 3 years. So what do you take? You're kind of really burying the character. The other thing is they're afraid that he might get injured. What if he gets injured during
there's
that?
that too.
Right? So you got to take all of those kind of little nuances in disguise. But you know what? I'm sure they'll figure something out here. I don't know what the plan is, but
Yeah, it'll be good. They'll make it work.
yeah, no, that's the way it's looking right now. Um, what else is going on? Hey, you know what? On this day in 2021, this legendary segment took place. Do you remember Stone Cold and Booker T in the supermarket?
Yeah, I mean that was a good one.
That's 21 years ago today that happened, brother man.
That was fun. Really good.
No, 100%. So, got top five, anything?
I do. Since it's Kurt Angle's birthday on Friday, I want to hear your top 5 Kurt Angle matches of all time. Your favorites.
Okay, Kurt versus Brock because I was there live in Seattle.
I was there too. Yeah.
That was phenomenal. Kurt Angle against The Undertaker.
Okay.
That was always a good one to watch as well. Kurt Angle, Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania was absolutely off the chain, off the hook, or what do the kids call it today? That match was fire.
Yeah. That was a good one too. That's 3. 2 more.
2 more. I'd have to say it's not a match, but the segment of Stone Cold and Kurt Angle when he had the little cowboy hat on.
Yeah, the milk thing in the back.
That was always awesome, good. Yeah. And I know it's not a match again, but the push-up contest with Brock.
Yeah, that was cool.
Right. Other than that, like all his matches were solid as well. The work that he did with Edge was also good. Their matches were always great. I mean, I don't think he really had a bad match.
No, the only thing about Kurt Angle is that, like, I know he had some good matches in TNA, but he wasted a lot of his career in TNA. Was he there a long time? Those are good matches he could have had in WWE, but on a bigger stage, right?
I think he had his best matches in WWE. I don't really think much about his TNA matches at all.
I guess he's saying that his matches with AJ were pretty good over there when they were both in the prime.
No. AJ, the matches with AJ were phenomenal. I'll say that. Yeah, I saw those, right? I
mean, Abyss or whatever he fought.
I wouldn't say Abyss either. I mean, he made Abyss look good.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I mean, he had that potential, but I think his best work, we got his best work in WWE before he left.
Yeah. Totally
right. And everything he did there was just phenomenal. Like the TNA stuff was, not even Kurt Angle's name could make that promotion bigger.
No.
Right. So it's unfortunate. It was, that TNA couldn't get any bigger than they were, but yeah, man. I mean, I don't know. That's kind of all I got for today, brother.
Yeah, those are good ones. Yeah, those are all good moments.
Yeah, that's it. But hey, listen, over the weekend, I know you were busy and unfortunately you couldn't be there, but I did an interview with the moment taker, Jordie Taylor. And what a great interview, man. It was really fun. I wish you had been there. It would have been really good to
I'm looking forward to hearing it.
Yeah, no, 100%, man. I'm just working on it right now. We'll probably release it tomorrow. Cool. Had to go back and kind of tidy up a few segments and just make sure everything flowed nicely and whatnot. But yeah, we sat down together, in person, which was really cool. I kind of really enjoy that.
It's a different feel than doing everything on Zoom or whatever.
No,
Yeah.
100%, and I think that maybe you and I need to get together here and do one of these in person.
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw it out there. Let's try to aim for our anniversary show,
Yeah, that's got to be in person. We'll try to get a couple of good guests on there for that. Make a
right?
big one.
Yeah, no, definitely. We'll do something along those lines. And sorry, guys, I'm just kind of planning out loud here, live with you guys. But the mind's always working, my friend. When I'm at work, all I do is think about this. So, Jordy Taylor, great
Yeah,
interview.
no, same here.
Big up to him and big respect for
Yeah, he's a good
taking,
guy. I look forward to hearing it.
and he took time out of his schedule, a day off, a rare day off from the ring to come out and sit with us and sit with me and talk. So we'll kind of have that up there for you guys in the next day or so. But we'll
Nice.
have this show will be up tonight. This is
Okay.
coming out tonight. We'll get this up and running because this is the bread and butter.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, everything is great, man. How's your Christmas shopping coming? Have you started?
I haven't bought anything yet, man. I'm going to do some this weekend. I got a couple things online coming, but I haven't done anything yet. What about you?
To be fair, I'm horrible at it. I'm really bad, but then again, I'm really good because I can go in Christmas Eve and be done in a half an hour.
Well, that works too. They're gonna be busy, but yeah,
Dude, I don't fuck around, man. Like I know what I want.
that's always
Right.
good. Yeah, if you know what you're getting, it's not too bad.
I go in, I grab it, I go to the till. There's no time to look around at that point.
Yeah.
Just grab it and go. And that's quick, right? I'll probably try to go earlier though, because I mean I do have to take little miss out as well this time around. So,
Yeah.
probably in the next week or so, I'll get it all done. It's not much to do anyways, I'm lucky there's not too many people to buy for in my world. So, it works out perfectly for me, right? And I get to spend all
Yeah.
my money on just a select few. So that all being said, guys, like we've talked about before, Uncontrolled Chaos, Sweat, Blood, and Cheers. These are two books by the Bushwhacker and our friend Vance Nevada. If you guys are
Yes.
looking for books for wrestling fans, these are great books. Some big news coming up pretty soon in regards to these books. We'll share that with you as soon as we get confirmation and details.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're expecting something big from this as well. So you guys stay tuned, man. Some great
Gonna be
shit's
good.
coming. Some good stuff's coming now. Other than that, Chance Michaels, be safe, man. We have the rest
You
of the
too.
week here, and next on Thursday, we will talk about the weekend of real bad judging across the board in combat sports. The wrong
Yeah,
guys
a lot
won.
of a lot of fights.
The wrong guys won. Plain and simple. I'll leave it at that. Use your guys' imagination. I think you know what I'm talking about. And we'll touch on those.
I do. I watched all those fights. Yeah.
Yeah, and we'll touch on those. And I'll say this: I'm not finished watching Pacquiao's fight yet. I've watched the first round only so far. Here's what I got to say: I don't know how
Dude,
that
it was
match
funny
ended.
because, like,
Don't tell me anything.
I mean,
I'm still
obviously
watching it.
Pacquiao worked him, but
No,
not
no,
only
because
I just say like I watched the whole card, most of it, and it's just like it wasn't run smooth. Like the reffing, the judging, it was just Ryan Garcia's brother fought on the undercard. He lost a decision that I thought he won. Even the commenters said this is a terrible decision. South Korean judges Ryan Garcia's brother lost. It was horrible.
You look at the whole day, right? From that card to UFC to the TFMO card, a lot of bad decisions. Was it a full moon? I don't know. But the judges just had a bad night across this board, man.
They did.
We'll touch on that. All I wanted to say very quickly, though, to you, man, Pacquiao looked good.
Oh, yeah.
Granted, that other guy what's his name?
DKU.
He just looked out of place. Just the way
he's a martial artist. Yeah,
the way he held his gloves, everything. I mean, Pacquiao's jab was crisp. It's hard to gauge. Like I was telling you, it's really hard to gauge what this guy's capable of if he makes a comeback when he looks like he's.
I love what they said. Are we gonna see a fight against Pacquiao? He says, "You'll see." So obviously he's gonna do something. Maybe it's exhibition. Maybe it's real.
You know what? We'll touch base on that because a few articles came out after that. A few statements that Pacquiao made come out after that. I shared.
Sounds like he wants the big dogs.
He wants to fight the good fight. I mean, Terrence Crawford, yeah, he won, but did he look good? I don't know. Same day, Errol Spence gets in a car accident again.
That's crazy.
So, I mean, Saturday was an interesting day. Brother, we have a lot to talk about on Thursday, but
up until then,
be safe. Everyone out there listening, be safe. And Chance Michaels, Thank you very much, brother. I'm Bobby Sampson. He's Chance Michaels.
And in the words of the great ACDC, those that like, download, subscribe, share the podcast, we salute you.
We do salute you, and in the words of the immortal Ed Whalen, in the meantime and in between time, that's it for Samp and Chance. Everyone have a great rest of your week. We will talk to you this Thursday.